So why did I decide to give up everything and move to Portugal? I don't know. The rat race. Does one want to really stay in the rat race? So I've been in it's now more than 36 years there. But when I decided to leave teaching with a smile, I had been in education for 36 years. If I add on now, it's 38 years I've been in education, because I am still involved in education. But I've taught in, I think it's about 13 different countries. I've lived all around the world. My children have gone with me wherever I've been. My oldest daughter graduated in Auckland, New Zealand, my son in Nanjing, China, and my youngest daughter in Moshi, Tanzania. So they've all had international educations. I worked at international schools. I had different roles: teacher, program coordinator, head of primary, head of school. I've had different roles in that time. And my last position was in Norway. And although Norway is a very beautiful country, I'm from Cape Town. We don't really do snow. And after 4 years, I think I was over snow. It's not lovely, dry, powdery stuff. It's cold and it's wet. And when you spend half an hour in the mornings digging your car out of the snow, yeah, I'm not really a snow person. I'd much prefer sunshine and heat to cold and snow. So, but it wasn't just that as well. It's just, I found I was leading more and more a sedentary kind of lifestyle where I go to work and I sit behind a desk and, you stand and prance around when you're teaching a lesson, but then you sit quite a lot again, and then you drive home and then you sit on the couch and you watch TV and you go to bed and you get up and you go to work and you sit, and that was life. And then with that, the politics that goes on in any organization. So people talk about like the politics in the corporate world, and schools might not be corporate, but there's a lot of politics that goes on in schools, and after many years of it, you just get tired of the politics. So over here on the farm, the politics I have to deal with is the pig hierarchy, who's the boss of the pigs. And whereas I was having to spend a lot of time solving problems at work, I was doing a lot of counseling. Children, when they get into fights or arguments or they're feeling sad or there's problems at home, I was having to deal with a lot of that as well. And I don't know, I just wanted to step away from all of that and enjoy a far more simpler life while I still had the time and the opportunity and the energy to be able to do it. And in Norway, I was, like, with the stress and whatever from work, I was actually getting sicker and sicker and getting more and more sort of like medical conditions. And since I've been on the farm, I've become a lot healthier. I think I live a lot healthier. Definitely live a far more active life than I've had for a number of years. And I think physically and health-wise, it's been very, very beneficial for me to have had this. Another thing is that I actually grew up on a farm from when my mother married my stepfather when I was 12. So from the age of 12, I was living on a chicken farm. We had hundreds of thousands of broiler chickens. We had a very big poultry abattoir, and we also bred racehorses. And so my first job was actually as the manager of a racehorse stud farm. And I used to breed the sign and milk goats. I'd had a little pig then as well. Not a kuni, commercial kind. But I used to breed the sign and milk goats as well. So, and my own father, he used to breed jerseys. He had a dairy and Dorper sheep. He had a big Dorper sheep stud, and he used to show his sheep and his Jersey cattle. I remember going with him to different shows. So I do have like a farming background as well. So I haven't come into this with no knowledge of farming or animals. In fact, my desire when I was in high school was I wanted to go to agricultural college, and I wanted to study small animal management. But at that time, they would only accept men. They would not accept females. And it was only when I was in my third year of teacher training college that they started accepting females, should I say. But by that stage, I already had my first child, and I was then stuck in the education route, and I had one more year left to study to become a teacher, so I wasn't going to give up what I'd done and then go and do my first love, which was small animal management and farming. So that was always what I had wanted to do. That was my dream, was to have a farm. And I know when I was in New Zealand, I started looking at small holdings, and I just always wanted to grow old on a farm and go back to that, because I just love this kind of life. I love the far more sort of simpler lifestyle, and you making your own preserves and jams. And although, to be honest, I mean, even when I lived in China, I used to make my own jams and chutneys and patés, and so I've done that all around the world. Made my own sausages. But I thought I'd just give you a little bit of insight into why I decided to leave the rat race and come and live on a farm in almost the middle of nowhere in Central Portugal. You might be asking why I chose Portugal. I did look at different other countries. I looked at Bulgaria, Romania, but Portugal seemed to be the friendliest for South Africans, because I do still have a South African passport, and that does make it a little tricky around the world with the South African passport. And I don't regret having moved to Portugal at all. Not one iota. I love it here. The bureaucracy can sometimes be a bit of a hurdle to navigate through, but you'll get it done eventually in Portuguese time. It's just, I don't know, I just think it's the best country with the nicest people living here. It's a great community. So, if you can give the video a thumbs up, that would be awesome. Comment below, subscribe. Absolutely amazing. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you on the next video.